Hey tubers, me again. I got an interesting one for you. This is a Shindaiwa power broom. It's called 4C technology. I don't know if you can even see that. 4 something technology. Basically, it's a 4 mix. What it is like it's got valves up underneath it here. It's a little power broom, but he just said, like, it starts up, it won't run, doesn't have any power, blah, blah, blah. So I got it. I'm taking it apart. I'm going to put it on the tripod. I'm going to show you something. It's going to be loud. The microphone's weird on the phone anyway, so it'll probably tone it down a little bit. But it does run. I'm going to start it up, and then I'm going to show you something crazy. This is like talking religion or politics or whatever. So like everybody's gonna have an opinion of what it is. So I'm going to try to eliminate them before you get a chance to start barking at me. So all right, I'm just gonna turn it on, start up. You see that? It's shooting gas out of the carburetor. I don't think it's enough to make the mist make it for you to see. So that's what I did, like that. Okay. So let me explain something to you. Here, I'm going to take you off the tripod. A 4-mix engine has got valves in it. Okay, this is the exhaust over here, and we're not concerned about that one right now. We're not even going to deal with it. So I'll get rid of that so as not to confuse you. So the carburetor is located down here. On a normal 2-stroke engine, what happens is as the piston goes up, it creates a suction, and it draws the fuel in through here, down into the crankcase. It lubricates all this stuff. Then when the piston goes down, it slides over that right there. It uses the piston skirt. It closes over that. It creates positive pressure, and it makes positive pressure inside, so that when it's going down, it forces the fuel up and into the cylinder. Then it goes, and when it closes off, the spark plug, that's my spark plug right there. It closes it off, and then ignition happens, it expands, whatever, and then the timing of the piston as it goes down would be, out the exhaust port, or actually over there. On a 4-mix, what they do is the valves are up in the top here, and there's a valve cover with a cork gasket. That's very important because now, instead of using the timing of the piston skirt and the ports and everything, what it does is it uses the valves on push rods for the timing. That's why the valve lash is so important over here on the top of the valves. That's why that's so important as to when this is pushing up, it tells it when to take and push this down. So the way that I'm thinking is that normally if that's just a squidge tight, and while it's trying to go and do its compression stroke, if that intake valve is hanging open a little bit too long, there's still that mixture is all up in through here, and there's nothing to stop it from blowing out there. So the first suspect is going to be that either that valve is not seating or it's not timed properly, which is going to be because of that valve lash being set over there. So we're going to take and check it and see if there's any clearance at all. I mean, it starts right up, but we're gonna check and see if there's any clearance at all. Duh. Whoop, you gotta get you back on the tripod. Sorry about that. I hit the button, so now it's a two-parter. So it's just these three. Where's mine? They're just Allen heads. It's the right size. These I can already see that there's. Let me give you a better view. I can already see that there's just RTV under there. It should be a cork gasket. So that means somebody else has already been in here. You should be able to, because this whole side of the engine has got a big giant port from like where the push rods and everything come up. You should be able to look down in there and see like either like a timing gear or something, because like I said, this runs on like 50-to-1 oil, gas and oil mix, and that's how all those internal parts get lubricated. We're also going to want to take and check the color up underneath this valve cover to see if it's actually, if it's going, if it sparks and the valve is not seating all the way, some of that exploded gas is gonna leak, is gonna make its way up into that cap, and it's gonna darken everything. Do you see that? That's because it's all burned. It's leaking up through there. Let's look down inside. Let me get a flashlight. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to. I know. I'm doing terrible with my camera work again. Let's see if I can't roll this over. We got a flashlight. Nope, we got to stand it on this end. I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. Okay, hold on. See if we can see in there. I'm going to take you off the tripod. There's part 3. Every time I move this thing, it shuts off. Okay, right down. Let's see here. See where my flashlight is. Okay, there's the valve. There's the stem. Should be able to look. See that semicircle right there? Try to put you in the middle of the screen. That's the valve against the seat. This is hard to do. Anyways, that's the valve against the seat right there. So now we're going to take and check this. Hold on, take it back out. We want to check this clearance right here to make sure when it's on the compression stroke that, because it's not like a 2-stroke. It's going to go down. It's going to open that valve. All that mist is up in here, and it goes, because it has positive pressure from the crankcase, it pushes it down in there. That's how it enters the cylinder. It does not do that over there on this side, because it just goes right out the exhaust port, which is right there. You should be able to look in there and see a valve stem. Hold on. Maybe this will help. There. Look inside there. You can actually see the valve stem. See where the shininess is? That's where, because the valve goes up and down. So let's check this. We got to set it up. We're going to put you back on the stupid tripod. God, I love this. I'm just kidding. I actually hate this. All right. So I promise not to move it. And now I'm just checking for, I can already see that this one is down. So this one should be released. And so when the positive pressure goes back up in here, it makes, because it's trying to do compression, but if anything is leaking by, it will take and go back into here, back down into the crankcase, and then make it pulse coming out this way. This would be the suspect. Okay, that's a 5,000th feeler gauge. It could it have tightened up? Yep, absolutely. But let's just take and try. This is no editing, you guys. We're gonna take and loosen this up. We're gonna delay that. Loosen that up. There's an Allen head on the inside. I'm gonna give this thing about 1/8 of a turn. There should be a ton of clearance in there now. Yeah, I can see it. There's 5. Let's see if it's at least 10. I have no idea what it's supposed to be. There's a 12. That's about right. So there's 12 thousandths on that right now. Let's take and put the cover. See how they're working? Let's put the cover on it. Let's see how bad. Ooh, she's got a lot of bucking. That's like almost next to useless. But let's put it on there anyway. It's not screaming like it's getting too much air or anything, so we just want to figure out what the heck. Get these started. Stick it back on. We haven't changed anything really except for the valve. So let's see if we can get it to start. We're going to put our hand over there in front of that the carburetor and see if it's not misting. I would suspect, you've seen like on some small engines that the seat just it just falls out. Basically, it's still stuck in there, but it moves, and so. But usually, it generally would not have enough compression to start. So it's not a blown head gasket. It's just different than a regular 4-cycle. All right, you guys are still right there. I'm gonna take and zoom you out. I'm gonna move you over, and let's just start it. Let's see what we can do. If it'll even start. Boom, switches on. Gonna choke it. Gonna prime it. Still doing it. That valve will not seat. The intake valve will not seat. And that's why it's doing it. So if it's trying to push out this way and we restrict it again, I think it's going to die. Let's see. definitely hear a difference. So it's not a clogged exhaust. We know that. We took it off. We took the whole exhaust was off. We saw that. So the only course is that it's leaking past that intake valve. When it's trying to compress, it's pushing it out this way. Right? That's what's creating all that stuff on my hand. It's not probably not worth fixing. It'd be fun to take it apart, but anyways, it's done. You can run it without the what do you call it? Without the filter on it. And it I don't know. It might make you a couple bucks. Anyways, I just thought that was interesting. Just thought I'd try to share that with you guys. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm out.